All right, welcome back to Soul Spark Tarot. I'm your host, Mr. Renew, and today we got ourselves a daily message. Um, yeah, so if you don't want to hear the yap session, go ahead and just skip forward to the reading. Without further ado, I'll see you over there. But let's start yapping, baby. What's going on? What's good? What's good? Hope everybody feeling good. I'm feeling pretty good, feeling pretty great. I didn't have the best of sleep yesterday, but I woke up with a nice vigor. I feel good because I had a nice night. I felt like I was super guided to be where I needed to be and not be where I didn't need to be. And sometimes you can only really see that after the fact. So I'm super grateful for all the things that happened yesterday. Um, yeah, man. I mean, I got an interview scheduled for a job, which again, it was a struggle to decide if I'm going to even try to get one. But the idea is I can do all things if I put my mind to it. And because I've been putting my mind to these things opposed to other things, it's been really helping me find the clarity that I really want and the clarity that I need and allowing for space for surprises. And so here's a quick little story for you. Yesterday I met this dude who I actually already met. Didn't know I met him until I realized that I met him. Now, he had one specific indicator that allowed me to recognize him. This nigga has like striking blue eyes. I don't know if they're real or not, but striking blue eyes. And he's a darker haired dude with it's kind of long, kind of look hippie-ish, but he not. I mean, I guess I don't know, but uh, when I was doing my work, um, I ended up in a spot where I normally am at during the daytime, so I didn't really recognize where I was at night. And so when I went in there, it was all weird. It looked different. Again, I couldn't recognize it. But then I think the first time I went in there and I met dude, I had asked them if they had any key limes. And then that's the funny thing because this time when I went in there again, I asked them for some key limes, and they only had regular limes. And so I was about to get the limes. I was about to go. Then I came back. He said no, but then I was about to go get another item. And I came back and I was like, "Is there a more left side to the left side?" And it was like, "Yeah, you got breads and you got bakery items over here, and then you got the shrimp." And I'm like, "Oh, perfect. I need the shrimps." Um, but then before I got a chance to go there, I asked the customer if they wanted these other limes. And so they said, yeah, I just need some limes. And then dude was like, oh, man, I like your watch. And I was like, oh, man, thanks. It's like, I don't know who it is, but how much it costs or anything like that. It came in a subscription box. But, yeah, I like it. It's pretty cool. And it was like, oh, yeah, man, I collect watches. And, he's talking about his watch he had on. And how it was a memento and to one of his friends, and it was like set up like King Arthur in the Round Table, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. You can see like the numbers were spokes and swords, and it was pretty cool. And so it showed all the detail, and then from that little spark of interaction, I was like, oh man, I think I've worked with you before. I think you helped me find like some like seasonal Twix one time. He actually directed me to a bunch of stuff, but it was like, yeah, I thought you looked pretty familiar. I was like, yeah, man, I couldn't recognize where I was. I've been all over the place in these 4 weeks or so, but yeah, man, how you been? What's up? And then we just started chatting, and that started turning to a yap session. And we ended up yapping for like 30 minutes, and like my phone kept going off and shit. I'm like, damn, I'm taking up all of this time. I'm gonna be late on this order. But things happen for a reason. Again, things happen for a reason. So I try to just allow things to be what they are. And in this case, it was great because We ended up exchanging information, and he's doing similar things. We talked about a bunch of books, talked about a bunch of spirituality. We exchanged some information, some like book information, and it was just tight. We was rapping, was for real rapping about a lot of things. 25 minutes flew by like that. So I was like, oh man, this is tight, bro. We exchanged social information, and then we're going to see. I mean, we're looking to continue to talk. He's looking to start a team, and it's like, damn, I've been looking for a team as well. Then in the team of spirituality, and what he was talking about in particular is the similar things that I was talking about, which is allowance, the law of allowance. You got to let things be, but then you got to understand things not being is also something. And then you got to know that nothing is a something that you can be in, which is the absence of the things that you think, want, desire, or claim. And so we went real deep, real fast. And he's looking for 5 modalities of people, of humans. And then I was like, have you ever read this book called The King, the Warrior, the Lover, and the Magician? He was like, hell yeah, I know all about it. And I was like, man, it's exactly what you're saying. And then I was giving them examples about how I used to teach it in the classroom. And, and I like the math side. I was just really explaining a lot of things with the math, and he was able to understand it. But he's clearly more of a writer. His Instagram, I forgot what it's called. Strengths of something. SOS is like the brand, but Strengths of something. But he posts quotes on his story, daily quotes, inspirational quotes, things like that. And so it was real tight because again, I would have never even expected me to be over there doing that, especially as late as it was. So I just really appreciate, random moments. And then when I got back towards where I needed to be, there was so many cops on patrol, bro. I was scared. So I just went and I parked. And then I had to leave where I was parked. So I went to another spot, and then the cops were still around. I don't know. Maybe because it was the first people was trying to meet quotas or whatnot, but I just seen so many things, saw a couple of accidents, and it's just like all of these things, and I'm just cooling, man. I'm vibing, and I'm appreciating all the people who were, sending me blessings and whatnot, telling me to be safe and look out, and I'm always telling myself to do the same. So I just really appreciate, those moments. And then, again, had the job interview. Then there's a bunch of other jobs that's popped up. Again, it's not the one that I want really, but it's something that I'll take because it'll be something that I get a chance to do. It'll be something that I get a chance to love, to share my joy and experiences with. And then it'll take some pressure off of me. Got a bunch of my homework done yesterday. I'm about to go knock out a bunch more, even though the week before was a struggle. And yeah, it's just again, when you're guided to do certain things, you got to learn to trust that guidance. And it's not, sometimes it's just you doing shit and you got to recall and reflect as you're doing the next segment. Again, if I'm on 4 and 5, I got to start recalling on number 6. So then when I get to about 7, I can appreciate 1 through 6 a little bit more. So with that being said, I hope that you guys are able to follow your own impromptus. Don't necessarily have to fight against certain urges, but just put certain boundaries up and beliefs when you know and that you fully feel are the cases for you. So with that being said, our channel message, man, was coming in today, and it was pretty much saying acceptance. Acceptance is our word for today. I feel like this is sounding crazy. All right, maybe that sounds a little bit better. Acceptance, though. So I'm going to accept however the sound is coming out as. But yeah, when you accept certain things, it allows you to do certain things. So like I said, I did a lot of releasing, a lot of Wim Hof, a lot of breathing yesterday, which is one of the topics of the conversation with me and, oh boy. Also, though, it helped me understand like that I enjoy doing deep breathing and things like that. And so like even to the point where last night where I did some deep breathing before I went to sleep, and that shit was instantly putting me to bed. And I didn't want to go to bed yet. I just wanted to relax. So I like snapped myself up and stayed up for like another hour or so. But then I didn't get much good sleep last night. I didn't. I was tossing and turning, but that's all right. Because when I woke up this morning, I just did my breathing like I used to back in the day. I just used to wake up, cut my alarm off, and then cut my Wim Hof on. And it's so energizing to the body, even though sometimes it makes you want to go back to sleep. But this time I did my Wim Hof. I applied for a few more jobs. I did a couple of assessments for some of these other jobs I already applied for. And then I was super excited to jump on and read and do some homework and work. I'm excited. I'm just excited to do shit. But I was like, no, let's go to the park and let's walk a little bit or do something. And so I did my deep breathing, and then I took my lap, and then I did some like backwards things. So that helps with recovery for all the forward things that I was doing a couple of days ago. And now I'm here doing this reading, and I'm just so excited, man. And I'm excited for the sense that I can keep going. And really, that's the acceptance. No matter how you're feeling, whether you're feeling great, whether you're feeling defeated, the acceptance side comes in the simple fact that we can make these changes, we can see these changes, but as David said yesterday, we gotta make sure that we're enacting boundaries over the certain things that are going around us. I did that heavily yesterday already intuitively, but when we were talking about it, it just reinforced it because we like ideas slip into our mind constantly. But we don't need to allow those ideas to permeate ourselves. And then we don't even need to question who, what, when, where, why, or how they're there. We don't need to do any of those things. We just need to put the wall up, and then we need to focus on the positivity. Now, I am one that is big on transmuting energies, but at some point in time, the simple idea of not even allowing negativity to come in is great. And like I used to teach kids, if you don't have a bunch of trauma, you can definitely inject certain aspects into your life that will transmute those things, or you can just simply pluck them out. But then if you do have a lot of traumas, I always say, well, it's not a bad thing if you want to throw the whole baby out with the bathwater. But again, if you don't have a lot of trauma, it will be senseless to throw away all the good with the bad. It's only a little bit of bad. So accepting what we can and cannot do, how we can and how we cannot do, why we can and why we cannot do, what we're doing, what we can't do, who we're doing it for and who we're not doing it for. Those are important questions because they allow you to tap into your mind. So with that being said, let's see what acceptance gives us for the rest of this day. All right. What's our overall message for this daily reading? So the Six of Cups and the Tower wants to show. So that means I think that you're again, because I don't like to take the ones that just show, I think they just want to make themselves known. It's like we're putting the tower on the things of the past. So we're removing the faulty foundations of the old. That's what it seemed like. But let's see what that really deals with in terms of acceptance. So our overall message. Tower wants to show itself again. So accepting things might be a tower, or it might be causing a tower. Maybe people accepting things in your life that they don't want is causing them towers. Maybe you causing yourself towers is creating problems for other people, even though you accept what's going on. So the idea is with these communications that are happening, it seems like they are creating tower moments all around you. Let's see what happens. That's wonderful. So these are the cards that fell out. And in regards to the tower moment, first of all, I want to look at these colors. These colors are pretty neutral relative to one another. And then these are beautiful cards, man. With these next to each other, this says like you started off on a journey. You've been wandering, teetering, and balancing that journey. And all of that work, all of those trials, all of those tribulations has led to victory. That's beautiful. Give me clarifier for each, please. So what flew the fuck out of here was the Ten of Cups. Again, oh man, I feel like I can't really see that. I tried to do what I could, like with this, but it seems like it's not enough. Give me one sec. Give me one sec. Sorry. Does that help? I guess that helps a little bit. So we got this Ten of Cups here on the Page of Wands with the Six of Cups in the back. So because of this, Six of Cups being at the bottom, I feel like you've been on a journey to remove yourself from the old, the old loves, the old things that you appreciate, and step into a newfound era. And guess what? I think this is the cause of why. You wanted to go and step into a new community, a new family, a new concept of what it means to have everything. And so as your tower moments have been created for you and for others, you have found joy knowing that you're still going on this search regardless of what happens. So I think the fact that you guys have been on your pathway, whether you got ups or downs, it doesn't matter. But being on the path, walking on the path, journeying on this adventure, you've chose to make a step. And as you chose to make that step, you continue to take step after step because you know eventually you'll get to this point. That's great. Tell me about the Two of Pentacles. Tell me about the Two. Two of Pentacles. All right. So the Two of Pentacles, I gotta do something different, bro. All right. So with the Two of Pentacles being here, with the Chariot at the bottom, you've been moving away. It's like I want to say this is a person. I want to say this is a person for the simple fact that it's a queen, but I feel like it's two different things. I'm hearing two different things. So I'm hearing the idea of you moving away from a person who you no longer want to interact with. I'm also hearing that this is a person who is deceased that keeps you going. So for me, this more so pertains to a person who I love who's no longer here, but they keep me going and they keep me balanced and they keep me moving through all of these changes. For you, on the other hand, it might be somebody who's stopping you from changing. It might be something that might be stopping you from finding balance. But the idea is you've accepted this situation now. You've accepted this person's mentality, their actions, their behaviors, and you put up boundaries. They're not you. So it doesn't matter what they're doing. They're not you. So you can continue to balance and live your life and bring the things that you need for yourself. But at the end of the day, this person is going to continue to be them. So I feel like, again, that this is a person, okay? But this person, you're balancing either in your life or out of your life. This person, you're either sleeping on or they're sleeping on you. This person might be deceased and they still motivate you, or this person might be deceased and you're making sure you don't want to enact some of those similar behaviors. But at the end of the day, you're moving away with balance, and then you're creating more balance in your movements. Tell me about this. Oh, right. And so, victory is with the star, man. I mean, god damn. It's really hard to like decline any of this, especially with temperance at the bottom. And y'all know me with temperance, man. Temperance is all about balance, 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 right? And even the Chariot is bringing balance. So with all of these cards being laid out right here, I feel like we're on the pathway to victory because we're in the path of tempering our own authenticity. Give me an in-betweener. So, As you've been on this journey, you've been putting yourself in pause or in hangman. I like to see this as points of refuge. So when you putting yourself in a pause, like when you go walk, when you go run, when you go work out, when you go breathe, when you go cook, when you go do something outside of what your normal day to day is, just to inject a period of pause, I feel like it's allowing you to overcome this, and not only overcome the Ten of Swords or the story of the past, you can also create a new sensation behind what you experience. This movement or this motion that you're moving away from this past with is giving you a new idea of what you need to do as you're balancing things from moment to moment. Who you need to balance, what you need to balance, why you need to balance, how come you're in a position where it needs to be balanced. All of these factors is coming through because you have chosen to pause. Again, purposeful. You've already enlightened. The thing is, any enlightenment that you carry must be reflected upon. Anything new that you learn, you must look back at it to see what more you can gain. What is an in-between for this guy over here? Give me another in-betweener. Boom. And so, as you're pausing, and as you have this new spark, this newfound energy, this new zest, this new inspiration, this new will, this new lust for life or strength to overcome, you are balancing the things that you must manage. Again, a lot of people like to see this as deception. I don't always see it as that. I see it as management of things first. Again, you can't be deceived if you're managing the deceivers. If you're putting the people on the right spot, if you're putting an end to people who just aren't good for you, who don't want good things for you, who want good things for you in their own fucking ways. If you are managing those things properly, that is going to allow you to step into your victory as yourself. I think that's the biggest thing, man. Stepping into victory as oneself is the most important thing, because the victory here as a person comes from the divine. So this is your battery. This is your little soul. This spark within you is what animates everything outside of you. And I think that part is the most important aspect, for the simple fact that you are multiple things. And you are not things too. But you are all of it. The duality behind everything comes with the idea that you are all. I am one. So in order to have the victory, that Ace of Wands that you carry in here with this wreath on there, the idea is you need to see yourself and temper yourself as the all. So even if you got emotions, the idea is you can water other people's emotions, or you can grow things. You can cultivate things. You can be balanced in the sense of, even through the fogs, I know who I am. Even through the deception, I know what I bring. Even through all the management, the change, and the chaos, I can maintain my frame. I can be grounded in who I am, and guess what? That is always going to lead us to victory. All right, let me get one more on each, and let's get out of here. So, one more on each looks like this. So we got the Five of Swords at the bottom. I love the Five of Swords because this card shows that you that motherfucker. They came at you, they didn't know what they was coming after, and they got their ass whooped. 95-3. Like in basketball, they got their ass skunked. 17-2 in baseball. They got whooped. I got 4 hole-in-ones in golf. They got spanked. I won 5-2 in tennis. These are crazy scores if you didn't know. 67-3 in football. Like, I don't know how else to say it, but that's what this card represents for me. So let's look at these last 3 cards. So, by you deciding to go and search for newfound energy, that has allowed you to come into union with yourself. As you come into union with yourself, you're finding balance by pausing and being able to see through this deception of people, situations, in your own, while also staying motivated from people and deceptions of the past. which is shown by this Five of Rods, which again, I love this card because similar to the Five of Swords, right? They came at you and they didn't know what the fuck they was about to get. You dominated them. Again, why? Because you got your own emotional source. And so, again, the reason why I say own emotional source, because the Knight of Cups and the King of Cups are similar. The Knight of Cups is a motion or transitional cup for me. So it can be the king or the queen, but it's in motion. But because it's next to this five, this is your own emotional factor, which the King of Cups is somebody who does not mind giving. He got a cup and a chalice, and he'll always give a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. But in this case, in this five, it's a similar situation. But instead of being the victor, it's looking more at the strategy. So it's like these two cards are flipping in what they normally would represent. But the idea with this card is you are this person here, this odd person out. That is this one who goes into the Six of Rods, which is victory. That rod that you're carrying with the wreath right here, okay? That is the same rod here. And so what does this mean relative to these other rods? Well, these other rods, it's always like a 2-on-2 battle to me, or four, or a royal rumble between these four. And I believe that because you're coming in as the external, I always say you like to bop, 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 and you can destroy all the competition because they're wholly and solely focused on each other. So because they are focused on themselves, you could come in with a sneak attack, but in reality, you're just in the Royal Rumble as well. They just forgot about you, or maybe they disregarded you, or maybe they considered you to not be a threat. So they went after each other, and you came in and demolished them all, which led to victory. And then this card is even better to signify these two things, because not only did you find victory, you found the victory from within the self. And again, for me, I like to liken the Hermit card to the King of Rods. So the King of Wands is that lustful, that zesty, that fiery energy that everybody loves to enjoy. It's that king that goes off and does everything. It shows off. It is the one that everyone knows is the badass. As Saltwater Hills Tarot would say, King Dangalang. I don't know why that popped up like that, but maybe this is, again, the idea of you being that motherfucker. Okay, notice, I didn't say that guy or that girl. I just said that motherfucker. And that's because, again, to me, this guy is the only one with a rod that's golden outside of the Emperor. He has a golden rod. But this is supposed to be the Virgo card, right? Again, Virgos to me are very similar to Leos. And guess what? It goes Leo season, then Virgo season. So it's like that Leo grew the fuck up and became the Virgo. And they're very similar. That's why they're by each other. But again, very, very similar energies. One is just fixated on showing off. The other one is fixated on being mutable. So showing off that ability in many places. And that is what this is. The fact that you can be yourself, find victory by being yourself, you have found that victory or that light within you to where you can shine that self always and everywhere. Now you don't even need to show it. It just exudes off of you. And that's what the goldenrod aspect is. And notice, this lantern has a star in here. And we got the star card. So a lot of this is really coming together as you stepping into who you are and not being afraid to show what you are. Because it doesn't matter. You know you're everything. You are everything. And everything is you. All right. What's the final message? That's the Stylistics, if you want to know. Stylistics. It's a pretty good song. All right. Final message. At the bottom, we got Temperance. Oh, man. This Five of Pentacles. Again, I like this card because this is one of the first signifiers of you knowing and being confident in yourself. So the fact that you're tempering more versions of you, that can confirm and reconfirm that you're confident with yourself. Again, you're stable with your foundation, but you're open to change. I'm stable in my foundation right now, my situation, but I'm open to change because I still need some things to change. I want some things to change. Things are always going to need to change. Change is inevitable, but this is why we're tempering those changes that's coming in and coming out. Again, yesterday was all about changing your change. So in this case, we're tempering the changes that are changing us. So we're tempering our responses to the change that we would normally have and allowing ourselves to cultivate and temper a new change for the new changes. Final message is the Empress card. How about that? How about that, man? I love the fact that the Empress card is here showing up because not only are you cultivating all of these things, you're birthing them. These things are actually being shown. These things are being revealed. These things are being cultivated into the real world. Notice she has all of those stars on her crown. Can y'all see that? Yep. Look at all of those stars on her crown. And look, I don't know if that's a scepter or not. But that's gold. I always like to look at this tree in the back because it looked like a nugget of marijuana. But the idea is that it's pungent. And so for me, these pungent creations that you're doing, that means that they have depth to them. They're not you just going out here doing things willy-nilly. They're things that have substance involved to them. And unlike the High Priestess, which is the precursor to this card, the High Priestess is the formulator, it's the blueprints, it's the planner, it's everything that is sewn together before it gets born. It's the idea of having a baby before the Empress starts to get pregnant with the baby. So, I appreciate this reading, man. This is great. It seems like you're birthing a whole lot of new things. The idea is no matter what you're birthing, keep tempering yourself. I think the temper really refers to this pause. The reason why I say that is because look at these angels. Look at the halos over their head. So I think as you continue to pause in the hangman state, it's allowing you to temper the things and download and receive more downloads and then cultivate the changes of the downloads that you're receiving. In other words, you're viewing them a little bit differently because you can. So continue to receive these downloads so you can continue to overcome and have the right strategy, have the right balances for all the things that may be deceptive or may motivate you, and then continue to hold those things deep within your heart, deep within your soul, deep within your essence, so you can understand the hermit as the victorious manifester that you truly are. So I appreciate y'all being here. Yeah, this is a great reading, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.